Hi everyone, it's AC here. Welcome to episode 13 of the Heine Homeboys. We have not one, but two very talented guys and great godly men. And this is Gary Moore and Buck Siere.
David Buck Siere, kind of like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So mostly goes by Buck, but David Siere is his real name. So we're happy to have them on here in promotion of Camp Mac starting Sunday, July 10th. Right?
It's just 3 days from now.
Can I make a correction to that? That would be Camp Buck.
Camp Buck. Right?
Good man, good.
He's always trying, isn't he, guys?
Yeah.
I asked him right before we started filming this where the Camp Buck shirts were, and he said that they were limited edition. So I don't know.
One of these years it's going to happen, AJ. One of these years.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to start with the first question. So tell everyone about yourself and give them a little introduction, one by one. I don't know whoever wants to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I have a wonderful wife. We've been married 37 years, soon to be 38 years. I have two wonderful children, boys. I have one son who is a traveling nurse out in California. My other son is married to my wonderful daughter-in-law, and we now have two grandchildren. He's an engineer, an electronic engineer, and she is a school teacher, where she loves kids and stuff like that.
And where does she work at, Gary?
At Crittenden County in Marion, Kentucky.
Okay.
Okay. And fortunately, it's in the news a lot about their water supplies up there, and that's what's been on the news. But fortunately, Matt and his family live in a country, so they're on a country water, not necessarily on city water. So that's where we're at there, and I have been at Kroger's for many years. Everybody has come by and they've shopped there. I've been there for 42 years in October.
Yeah.
And then I'm just well blessed. I've been at Brookport Baptist for almost 30 years. And then I've been part of camp for over 25 years. This year I will not be able to make it. First time in ever. Hoping to be back next year. Just some work related issues and stuff like that. And I just love God, and I've always loved everybody in all Southern Illinois as far as the kids and the youth. I've enjoyed you guys, watching you guys grow up to be the young Christian men that you are, and all the stuff that you like to do.
Yeah,
right.
But okay, I guess I don't know if it's negative or positive about you not being at camp, but usually at camp we share the same room, but it'd be constant battle between Gary and Buck snoring. It'd be like,
right, that's true.
So my idea this year is provide Buck with a CPAP, and
I would think that's a great idea, because I was kind of concerned this year, because I've been with Buck all these years and he was asleep like that, and I think a CPAP would be a great idea. I really do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to watch his back. I'm not going to be there this year for that.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. And
Yeah.
I felt so much better when I found out you guys was going to be there the full week.
Yeah, we're also doing the music, so that's part of the reason.
Oh, that's cool.
That's part of the reason why we're gonna be there all week. And plus, we don't have any much plans this past week or this upcoming week. So thank goodness that we can stay all week. The first time ever.
That's the godly thing about church camps, is people coming together, growing up, and just carrying on a tradition. Even though I'm not going to be there, it may come down to that time when Buck won't be there and Terry went there, but Camp Mac still goes.
Yeah.
I let you know it's all about Camp Mac and how God works through young gentlemen like you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And many other ones.
Yeah, and lots of great women plays too, and they not just men, guys, just Christian women, and just everybody in general.
Yep.
Well, let me introduce myself then.
Yeah, Bud, go ahead, man.
I'm David Siere, and I do prefer to be called Buck. That's my nickname. My dad gave me that nickname the day I was born. I had a good friend named Buck, so that became my nickname. I got saved when I was about 26 years old. Called to preach when I was about 31, and been preaching for the last 32 years, somewhere along in there. My wife Carol and I have been married going on 42 years. That's hard to believe. We have 2 children and 7 grandchildren, and so we've been blessed mightily. Been at First Baptist Brookport for 18 and a half years, and in our association for about 25 or 26 years now. And so I've been in camp for not quite as long as Gary has, but I have really grown to love the camp, and I've grown to love the kids. And I am counting on you guys this year to to have my back. All right.
Yeah, to keep you in line. That's what
Yeah.
we'll do this
It
year.
just seems like it takes two guys to take Gary's place. All right. And
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, two strong
Yeah,
men,
it'll take,
young
strong-
men.
it'll take more than that, but yes.
And I appreciate
Hopefully
that so
Greg
much.
will jump in there and help out this year.
All right.
Yeah,
Greg Hines, yeah.
Yeah.
Greggy will be there this
He
year.
Yeah.
is. Uh-huh.
That'll be good. So anyway, that's kind of a little overview, I guess, of my life, and I'm grateful to be here, and you know, I've been looking forward to being a part of this. And I watch you guys every now and again. It's just so cool to see you guys interview people, and I'm just grateful to be a part of what we're doing here
Yeah.
today, and to promote Camp Buck.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
That's the main reason.
Yeah. Seriously, it was actually Brandon Heine's idea, but we were Brandon, our cousin Brandon Heine had said you guys should do Clay, and then you do you guys. And actually, coincidentally, we had Clay a couple weeks ago. That was great. And check out Clay's video on Facebook and on the YouTube if you haven't already.
I don't know if it's up on YouTube yet.
No,
we're
it's-
recording this. Is it up yet?
No, but I said it will in
It'll be up,
the next
yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
Hopefully.
guys, I'm not trying to complain,
Okay.
but I'm just curious as to how. It's another time that Clay has jumped over me. Just how he got to be first, and then we got to be second. But I'm not complaining. All right?
I know,
want you
but-
to know
Doesn't
that.
sound like it.
But I'm just want to find out why I've been passed over again.
All right, AC.
You got-
He's the one that picks the guests
Okay,
usually, so
okay.
AC, I'm passing this on to AC.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
So what's your answer?
Because I didn't know how Gary. I didn't know how. I was thinking about doing like you guys, like during church camp back. But when I found Gary wasn't gonna be there this year, I was like, I don't know when we'll do it. But hey, Buck messaged me last week, contacted me last week, said, Gary and I would love to do an episode with you next Thursday, and here we get.
Here we are.
Here we are right now.
Yeah.
A week later.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys know do you know the start of Camp Buck? You remember how the Camp Buck started?
I don't know. I don't
No.
think so. No, I don't think
Well,
so.
brother, here, let me just give you a quick overview, okay?
Okay.
Now remind you, I'm not complaining.
Okay.
I'm not.
Hey.
Not complaining. Right? Well, Brother Terry wasn't going to be there when, and he's been the camp guy. I mean, he's the, Camp Mac. You think of Brother Terry. He wasn't going to be there one year, so Gary and I got together. And we started talking about who has been here longer than us that could take over the camp. So I began making preparations for Camp Mac. The next thing I know, this guy named Clay Blankenbaker, who had been there, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, compared to Gary and I, 16. We'd been there 16 years at that time, and I thought, well, and then he was chosen as camp director, and I'm just going to be honest with you, it hurt bad. I mean, it
Yeah.
Fake tears.
just no.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right, guys. Don't worry.
Look. It'll be okay.
But we were passed over, and so I thought to myself, well, when Terry comes back, maybe things will get back. But then they just went ahead and let him do it again, and again, and again. But I'm not complaining.
You're not
I'm
complaining.
not
You
complaining.
hear that? He's not complaining.
One little bit, but it was pretty hurtful. So that's when we decided to make Camp Buck, and it runs concurrently, same time as Camp Mac. I don't know if everybody knows that. or
It's a
not.
coincidence.
It is a coincidence,
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, and again, this was going to be our theme every year. It doesn't matter how early or late we bring our theme out. Camp Mac's already got it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
I think Gary's a spy. I'm starting to think.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm
You
starting.
think I play the middle a little bit?
Yeah,
you
I
think?
I'm starting to think.
Huh.
I do like everybody being my friend.
Yeah, I think-
Yeah.
That's my theory, though.
Well, everybody does know, right, that I'm not complaining. Okay, guys, you got questions for us?
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and Facebook. If you have any questions for Buck and or Gary, preferably both, but if you have separate ones for each of them, that's fine too. Let us know. I think we have a couple questions already, but maybe
Wow.
Okay, all right,
maybe it's
sure.
just comments.
Okay.
Just a sympathy comment for Buck.
Sympathy.
Yeah.
I feel sorry
Who
for
was-
him, doesn't
It was
he?
Val.
Oh, Val?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Val.
Yeah.
Thanks, Val.
All right.
All right, so what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months or in recent times?
Last purchase of $100 or less, huh?
Yes.
For me, I have been totally blessed over the last 2 years, going on 3 years now with grandchildren. God has blessed me. So anything I can spend on them and spending time or money wise on them, is I call it well spent, you know. And so
Right, Gary.
right,
Yeah.
and then I want to always try to be able to help somebody in need also. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to make my answer sound really kind of bad now. I don't know if I want to say it. You know, Gary's up here giving all the good answers and everything for us. But what am I going to do now? What am I
You
supposed
got a
to
better
say?
work car now. It has
I
air
know.
conditioner.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's cost more than $100 though. But that is a blessing.
Yeah.
I got a car now that has air conditioning, and when
Yeah.
it's hot like this, I can actually roll the windows up. Where the car I used to have, it had what I called 260 air conditioning, 2 windows down and 60 miles an hour. That was the air conditioning I had.
Yeah.
But now I got air conditioning, so that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
And anything I
Very
spend
cool.
on my wife, I think is good, is what money well spent.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So now, how is a failure or apparent failure set you up for later success in life? And do you have a favorite failure?
Well, the older I've gotten, the more I understand that failures are good sometimes, and they help you to build and they help you grow and stuff, you know. And as far as a favorite failure, probably can't think of one right off the top of my mind. Just probably day by day stuff that happens to me at work or even at home or even in my personal life or even in churches. And sometimes they just don't pan out like you think they should pan out. And so, but I also now, like I said, I'm an older, more mature Christian now, is that I understand that God allows us to go through stuff like that and to help us to grow and to strengthen us, make us stronger.
I think one of the failures that sometimes when I plan things and they don't go as planned, that's kind of a failure. I remember in 2020 when we were going through the pandemic and everything, and I wanted to do Vacation Bible School, and I thought, you know, the only thing we can do is maybe a one-day Vacation Bible School, and to me, I felt like it was going to be a failure because it wasn't promoted real well or anything like that, but God blessed us with 2 salvations that year.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 girls that got saved during our Vacation Bible School in that one-day Vacation Bible School. And so what I thought was a failure, God brought into a blessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so are there any quotes that you think of often live your life by?
Okay, now
Quotes that I often live my life by.
And it could be Bible verses too.
Yeah, we don't care. Do whatever quotes you got feel comfortable doing.
Okay. Well, you know, you guys are, you know, you're young, and as a teenager, I like to sleep, and I can remember going through life, and in the summertime especially, I'd stay up real late, and my mom would come in and say, "It's time for you to get up." In other words, you have slept long enough. It's time for you to get up and get going and doing something. One of my favorite mother quotes, and this may sound strange to people, but this has always been one of my favorites. She'd say to me, "Why don't you go outside and get the stink blowed off of you?" That was one of my mom's favorite quotes to us.
Yeah.
In other words, get out of my hair, you know, and go
Yeah.
outside and do something. And so, you know, several Bible verses come to mind. Obviously, the first Bible verse that I ever learned, Psalm 119:11, where it says, thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. Of course, that's the King James version. So,
Yeah,
so that's what I learned from, and so that's kind of been one of my favorites. Of course, John 3:16, and I can go on and on with Bible
Yeah.
verses.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
that first one that I memorized, that's always been kind of special to me.
Yeah.
For me, it's my daily walk with God as far as my daily talk and my prayer with Him. I can tell what I'd like to say is, well, I didn't pray up enough today, and sometimes I may have to walk off, be it at work or somewhere else, and walk off and get a quieter time to pray with God, and stuff like that. Maybe I get in a hurry of a morning. I don't have that quiet time with Him, which I always encourage people to have their quiet time. You've got kids or whatnots, and they're laying your way, and as mine is usually between the house and going to work. But there's been times that I thought, Lord, I know I didn't pray up enough today to help me get through the day. And so that's probably one I use quite frequently, is to help pray up,
Yeah. That's good. All right. So, in both of your jobs, what is your greatest challenge? So, for Buck, what's your greatest challenge as pastor? Gary, what's your greatest challenge working at Kroger for 4 years?
I guess my greatest challenge is helping the church look ahead. We are where we're at now, but we always need to look ahead to what God has for us, and to be close enough to God to discern what He wants our church to do. I think God's blessed all churches in different ways, and so our church could reach people that other churches can't, and vice versa, as true as well. So I think that's one of my biggest challenges is to keep people motivated and going forward in the church.
Okay.
Over the years, I know God has put me in my job where I'm at in my job. I know I can see it, and it would take all day long to explain how He's taking care of me, and He's put me where I'm at. And what I take great pride in is mentoring younger people to come up behind me at the job, how to be people. I like to be able to mentor young men into being proper men, proper husbands, boyfriends, and stuff like that. Because my dad wasn't a very good mentor, but then again, I have been able to try to mentor many people. Now the challenge today is our world has changed so much, as we all know, with the COVID, and people don't want to work. And sometimes I can get discouraged because it's hard to find people who really want to be godly people and to learn and to mentor people, because our world is going so fast the opposite direction. But then again, I always get encouraged by young people like you guys doing the things that you do for God, and those people, and God always brings that to my heart, my mind, that there's still people out there that are young, that need to be mentored, that can be godly light. And that's why with my grandchildren, I get every chance I get, I want to be able to do that in their life. And hopefully they're young and they can help, with God's help, turn this world around as other young people like you guys.
Right.
And the young people in our association. That's what's so good about Camp Mac, is all the young people watching them grow up and do great things and become good counselors and stuff at the church. And that's why Camp Mac keeps going on.
Let me just say, you misspoke. It's Camp Buck.
Yeah,
I
did.
saw it
You
coming.
waiting on you.
Yeah,
You're waiting
I saw
on
it
you.
coming. Good
You're
luck.
waiting. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, who inspires you the most?
Inspires me the most.
Me personally, I have so many people that I just no way I can start naming names and stuff like that, But I think the most influential person who's inspired me the most is probably my grandmother on my dad's side of the family, growing up as kids, because she was there. As I mentioned, my dad wasn't there, but his mother was there for us and taught us lots of things about life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a really godly woman. So, but from there on, it's just God puts different people in your life if you'll notice what He's doing.
I'd have to say for me, it's a former pastor who really came in and we became fast friends. And his name's Waylon Engel. He lives down in Florida now. He's pastor in a church again called Olga Baptist down there in Florida. And he just made the impression upon me. I love to listen to him preach and teach, and spent a lot of time with him, and he made a big impression on my life as far as my Christian walk goes, and being a preacher as well. So yeah, he's the one that made the biggest impression, I think, on me.
Oh, that's
That's great, man.
Yeah. All right. So, what is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? And it could be investment of money, time, or energy.
I think time is the best investment of any of us should be able to pick. I mean, it's good to have money. I don't have money, and there's nothing wrong to have money. But I think time is the best investment we can make on anybody's life. Just spend some time with, whether they're being older. You know, a lot of during this pandemic, there's probably millions of people that was left like in nursing homes that nobody got to spend any time with because of this. Or even the young people need just a little moment with that. And life gets busy, and sometimes we got to slow down, and that's why I admire both about my son and my daughter-in-law is they take a better time invested in their younger grandkids than what I think I did with my boys. Because I was trying to raise them and make a living and stuff, and Matt and Ann did a really good job of just slowing down every day and investing time in their children. So I think time is the biggest investment as far as I'm concerned.
And I'll go along with that, piggyback on that. I think time in the Word of God to me is, when I first got saved, guys, I knew nothing about the Bible, and I mean nothing. And after I got saved, I began to read the scriptures, and I just couldn't get enough of them.
And when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do?
Oh, pray.
Just pray,
Yeah.
pray, and a lot of times, especially in my life, is I get tired from work. This heat this last couple of weeks has been really rough on a lot of people. People get more irritable,
Yep.
And kind of lose their focus a little bit, And sometimes I catch myself looking too much out in the world and thinking I need to fix it,
Yeah.
and I need to stay concentrated, stay focused on my little inner circle world and keeping it straight and focused. And so that's how God pulls me back in line on stuff like that.
Speaking of this heat, I'll tell you, it's bad. I go from a 74-degree house out into the heat, get into my car, turn the air on, go back the car out, go to the church, turn the car off, get into the church, into a 74-degree zone. But the time between the house in the car in the church, really difficult on me. I mean,
Feeling sorry
it's
for 'em.
really, really hot, and
Yeah.
and so it's not like I'm trying.
You're
to
not complaining.
I'm not.
Not complaining.
I'm just waiting.
He's not complaining.
We go all the way, circle back to that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I've done forgot the question. I'm be honest with you, I done forgot the question. What was your question?
Okay.
All right. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or have lost your focus temporarily,
Prayer. You
what do
said
do?
prayer earlier.
Prayer is a key. And again, God speaks today, speaks through His Word. So prayer, Bible study, and mostly prayer, because one of the things that I've discovered throughout my lifetime, my ministry especially, is that God's got everything in hand. No matter what else is happening, God's still in control of everything. And I have a tendency sometimes to want to think the worst. And when it comes out, everything's okay. I know God's already blessed it.
Yeah.
He's already knows what's going to happen. So
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm looking at Facebook real quick.
Okay.
See if we received any other questions,
Yeah.
or just more people join
Or
on.
receiving more viewers. Hopefully, I think we're getting to receive a few more viewers.
Okay, Cliff Easter said, this is a compliment actually. All right.
Compliment,
Wow,
actually.
Okay. All jokes aside, I love you guys and your passion for telling the next generation of students about Jesus. So that was
There you go.
Cliff
Thank
Easter.
you, Cliff.
yeah, thanks, buddy.
You're a good example.
Oh, and Ben Hoddle has a question.
Uh-oh.
Or Ben.
All right. He says, Buck started a new exercise habit during COVID.
Have you? Yes. Have you guys seen my exercise video?
Oh yeah, I missed those.
I've seen about one or two of them, and Trad York did like an extra. I think Trad York recommended you.
Trad did his first.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking to myself, Trad's workout character was Will, and what was your workout character? Or did you play yourself?
No, I was myself.
Yeah.
Did you? Listen. A lot of people say, "How did you do that?" Well, you have to have a body like mine to do what I did.
Right.
Because I actually did no-handed push-ups. You remember seeing those? You remember seeing those on the video?
Yeah, barely.
One-handed push-ups and all that kind of stuff, and a bunch of what do they call those things?
Push-up.
Push-ups. Thank you. That shows you how.
My best part of it is flattening the curve.
Flatten
at the
curve.
very end,
So yeah.
That's all right. Oh,
Yeah. Well, that came because Brandon Heine said, "Hey, you ought to make an exercise video." So I
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Sounds like it sounds like something cuz Brandon would say.
We
He
think
did.
so.
He did. So that was a lot of fun to make, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Alright, so next question is, so what are some bad recommendations you hear in your profession or area of expertise?
Bad recommendations.
Hmm.
Well, as church leaders, we counsel people sometimes, and we have to really be careful what we counsel, because in my lifetime, I've given some bad advice, especially to my best friend when I was in high school. So we, kind of have to make sure you're, in tune with the Spirit of God and you're giving the right advice. And it's tough sometimes, because sometimes we just don't have the answer.
Yeah.
That's right, mate.
And that's difficult. But one of the things that I think we need to be is honest about that and say, you know what, I don't have any advice for you right now in that situation. So, and like I said, I know especially pastors are called to counsel people and stuff like that. But I think we just need to be honest. If you don't have anything from the Spirit of God, and don't just make something up.
Yeah, I think to me, character recommendations. Whether I recommend somebody and their character doesn't turn out to be as what I recommended, or vice versa, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we need to be careful on that stuff. We really need to be sure where we're at. And again, prayer is so important on stuff like that. And so each and every time we make a decision, we really need to pray and ask God to lead us to where it's at. As far as recommending people for this or for that.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what country would you love to visit?
Well, I'm gonna. Okay, go ahead.
I had the fortune of my son Matthew and I was able to go with First Baptist Metropolis to Haiti, and that's my first foreign country to go to. And I really have a longing to go back to that someday. I don't know. My wife and I was talking to her the other day, hopefully going to Israel sometime. But I'm happy where I'm at right here in this country.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here in the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy too, but there are a couple of places that I would really like to go to. First is Israel. I'd love to go to the Holy Land and see some of those things that I've read about. That would be totally awesome. And the second one is Germany. We've had a couple of German exchange students at Brookport, and I fell in love with those girls, and they just really I'd love to go over and just see that country too.
Yeah, and
if they go to Germany one of these days, to give me a call.
I will tell Brother Cliff that you should go. I think they're probably be in desperate need of men.
Probably that's true, but now listen.
Yes, man.
I had a half a year of German in 8th grade.
Wow.
Which was 1970.
70.
1970, I think.
He'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Wait, do the math.
Okay.
Do the math
You do
for
the
us.
math, brother.
So you say you were in year 8?
No, in 8th grade.
Yeah, year 8's the same thing as 8th grade, but
Okay.
I'd say 1972, 73 school year.
Well, you were
72, 71, 72, maybe that'd be it.
Yes, because you were born like 59.
58.
Right.
Yeah, I'm an old dude.
I know you're older than Gary, though.
Yeah, and I always will be, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's you know.
All right. So the next question is, so what fact about you would surprise many of your acquaintances?
I'm 6'3".
He's taller in person than he looks on camera.
That's right.
That's right.
And by the way, the camera does add 20 pounds. All right.
Yeah.
So what you see here is actually 20 pounds slimmer than what it looks like. I just want to let you know that.
Okay, that's good to know. And now, let's see. So Gary, what about you? What fact about you would surprise many of your acquaintances?
I don't know. I try to be just who I am everywhere I go, you know, and so I guess that, you know, if somebody wants to point it out, they could point it out, you know, as far as that. But I try to my best to be the person I am, whether it be at work or church or anything like that. You know, I've always known that we need to be like that. If we're going to be a Christian, we need to try to live that way. Now, sometimes I'm a really poor Christian and I don't live the way I should, and I have to get straightened out by God or my wife or somebody like that. You know, somebody hold me accountable. But I mean, you know, it's just I do strive to try to be the best person I can each and every day. You know.
Let me give you a serious answer to that question.
All right, bye.
There are times that I know I look like I'm jovial all the time, and I am most of the time. But there are times when I do get down, and my wife knows when that happens, and she's there to be with me, you know. And so I mean, I have my times where I'm not 100% jovial.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what's your favorite musical artist at the moment? And then we'll ask you. And then as these guys get to answer me that, I'll ask you what's your favorite Christian song.
Oh gosh.
My wife and I, about 5-6 years ago, we started we used to listen to country all the time.
Classic.
Classic,
But
classic most of the time.
Much better than today's.
Much better than today's.
Yes.
And we occasionally will, but most of the time we do K-Love almost all the time.
I love Kayla.
Yeah. And my wife is very good on who sings them and things like that. And I'm not very good at that at all. But I love Kayla, and I love listening to the songs that come along that the artists bring along very often. You know, and I'm very poor in knowing who the artists are, but I do recognize the song. You know, and I'm more of this person. If it speaks to me, then I'm really stuck on it. Like "Honey on a Rock" right now is really one of my favorite songs that I'm listening to right now. You know, now as far as old classic songs, "I'll Fly Away," that goes way back. I don't know if y'all have ever heard or not.
Yeah, of course I've heard of it.
Yeah, and that's a personal family song because I was there watching my grandma pass away, and she was singing that song as a family. We sing that song, "I'll Fly Away," as her favorite song.
Okay.
And so it's always been there. Probably part of my funeral service if I have a funeral sometime. You know, so that's it.
Yeah, and Gary, you're gonna be alive till you're 101.
Oh, well, I'm working on it. I appreciate that.
Yes,
you know?
yes, you will.
Yes.
Yes. So, what's your favorite Christian artist?
He said he didn't
Any of them. I don't really have one per name.
Well, growing up in the '60s, I grew up on rock and roll. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I listened to for the most part.
Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Yeah, oh yeah,
The great hits.
yeah. That's way back when. Never liked classic country. Never
Same.
liked it at all. I don't know why. I just never did. Never got into it. And so I don't listen to a whole lot of Christian music today. If I got it on a Christian station, I'm listening to a preacher. Well, that's what I do most is listen to preaching. And I like some of the old hymns. You know, he said, "I'll fly away," you know, but you know, "In the Garden," that's one of my favorites.
Right,
you know, and I just love those older hymns. They speak to me a lot. Maybe because I'm older, I don't know, but they do speak to me a lot. So, and like I said, I don't. As far as artists go, couldn't tell you who's singing what anymore because mostly what I do is preaching and stuff.